If you guys want some coins for the new Fut Fantasy promo, please check out MMOXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself 5% off your order. This supports the channel greatly. What's up guys, my name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, I've got some updated custom tactics and player instructions for the 4-3-1-2 formation. I'd just like to start off the video by apologising for not uploading much the past couple of weeks. I've just had a lot on with my uni stuff and other things, so I do apologise and I hope you guys can forgive me for that. But yeah, just before we get into today's video guys, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up, as that does really help with the YouTube search. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you actually get notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside guys, let's get right into today's video. Okay guys, so starting off with the custom tactics. For the defensive style, I like to have this on balanced. This is because we get the best control over our defenders, where we're able to press when we need to press and we're able to drop off and be a little bit more conservative when we need to be. So balanced does give you the greatest control. Moving on to the defensive width guys, I'm currently using this on 47. The reason for this is we can primarily defend in a narrow way to block the passes and attacks through the middle, but at the same time we have a bit of natural width, meaning we can, block those attacks that are coming down the wing as well. So we primarily defend narrowly, but we also are able to cover the wings too. Now, moving on to depth guys, I currently have this on 62. This is so we can win the ball higher up the pitch, but at the same time our defensive line isn't too high to the point where we're always getting through balled. I don't like having my depth too low, as it feels like I get pinned back and it's not too enjoyable to play. Moving on to build up play guys, I suggest having this on balance. This is because it is suited for all different types of FIFA 23 gameplay, whether it's fast gameplay, slow gameplay, fast but laggy gameplay. There's so many different types of gameplays. This is the best for the majority, so balance super important to use. Moving on to chance creation guys, you have two options I think. The best one for me is direct passing. This is because it makes your strikers bunch up against the defenders, so you're able to do like those overpowered isolation plays. It's also the only setting which actually makes your attackers move in a dynamic motion to break through that defensive line. Some people like forward runs because they find it easier to create those attacks as their attackers are pushing further into the opponent's half, but I feel like forward runs is probably a better option if you're a lesser skilled player, and direct passing is better if you're a higher skilled player, if that makes sense. Moving on to attacking width guys, I have this on 48. This is so we still primarily keep a narrow shape, but at the same time our players aren't that narrow to the point where they're sitting on top of each other, so having it on 48 has been a good balance. I don't suggest having this too wide, otherwise the formation kind of falls apart. Moving on to players in box guys, I have this on 6, so we can get some players into the box to create chances of course, but at the same time we don't overcommit our entire team to the point where we do get counter-attacked. As for corners and free kicks, I have these both on 1 because I have a corner kick routine that I use, and if you guys want to check it out, there is a link to the video in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now, moving on to the players you want to use guys, in the two striker positions, I suggest going for a bit of a balance between the two, where you have somebody who's better at finishing, so I have Robbie Keane, and then in the other striker position you have a more creative player, so you have like a creative finisher dynamic. This is kind of down to preference, but if you guys want to use like two finishers or two creative players, it's up to you, but this is the way I like to set up my strike force. Now for the cam, it's important you use a technical player, somebody that has the skill moves, somebody that's able to shoot, pass, dribble, and it's very important that they're agile, because if they're too clunky, you'll find it difficult to create chances, as the cam is the main playmaker in this formation. In the left centre mid spot, I suggest using a box-to-box midfielder. This is somebody that's going to attack and defend, so I'm using the flashback Paul Pogba, so he's got those very well-rounded stats, meaning he's able to attack and defend, and if you can get it, a high work rate is super useful, as it means they're going to be attacking very well and defending very well. But this Pogba's a high medium and he still works fine, so work rates are something you should aim for, but don't worry too much if you can't get them. Now for the middle centre mid guys, I suggest a CDM or a defensive player, so I'm using the flashback Jorginho. You're going to want somebody with very good defensive stats, because this player is going to stay back, and if you can get it, a medium high work rate is super beneficial. Now in the right centre mid spot, you're actually going to want to use an attacker, because this isn't going to always play out like a 4-3-1-2. This will make sense in the player instructions, but just go for a very good attacking player in this position, so somebody like an Mbappe, a Messi, a Neymar, Jairzinho, any of those types of players. You're going to want a proper attacker attacker in this right centre mid spot. Moving on to the fullbacks, I like to have a balance between the two, where I have Roberto Carlos, who is my more attacking fullback, and then I have Cafu, who is more defensive. So I like to have that balance between the two, but if you want to use 2 attacking fullbacks or 2 defensive fullbacks, it is completely up to you. As for the centre backs and the goalkeeper, these just need to be as meta as you can get them. There is not too much to say on these. For the player instructions, guys, on both strikers, we just have stay central. We have stay central because we don't want these players drifting off to the wide areas. It's important that they do stay in the striking areas in the centre, because otherwise you'll feel like they are disconnected from the rest of the team, and it's important that they take up these positions. I use mixed attack instead of getting behind because I think it is better from a build-up perspective where they do get more involved. Now for the cam, I actually have him on comeback on defence. This is super important because it makes it defend in a 4-4-2. The reason we do this is because the 4-4-2 is a superior defensive formation, which means we're going to have a very good attacking formation in this 4-3-1-2, and we're going to have a very good defensive formation in the 4-4-2. So by putting the cam on comeback on defense, it means he's going to come back to defend as a left midfielder in a 4-4-2. Now, for the box-to-box centre mid, the left centre mid, we have default settings and cover centre. We have him on default settings because we don't want to restrict this player too much. He's allowed to do a bit of everything. He's meant to attack and defend, so we don't want to restrict him. And we have him on cover centre, so he defends as one of the centre mids in the 4-4-2. Moving on to the middle centre mid, the more defensive player, we have stay back while attacking and cover centre. We have him on stay back because we don't want this player going forward. He's a defensive player, so we do want him to stay back. And we have him on cover centre, so like Pogba, he defends as one of the centre mids in the 4-4-2. So the way this is going to set up is the 2 strikers will be the same. Jairzinho will defend in a left mid position, Pogba left centre mid, Jorginho right centre mid, and Chiesa right mid. So I hope that makes sense why we can get away with using an attacker in the right centre mid spot. Now for the right centre mid, just as we're talking about him, we have get forward, get into the box cross, and cover wing. We have him on get forward because he's an attacking player. We want him to get involved, so we do need him on this instruction. We have him on get into the box for cross, so he does actually make the transitional runs to get involved in the attacks. If you have him on balance crossing runs, sometimes he's a little bit static and he doesn't do what you need him to do. We also have him on cover wing, so he does defend as a right mid in a 4-4-2, so it does make it defensively solid, and it's important we do have him on cover wing so we do get the correct shape. Now for the left back, my more attacking fullback, I have balanced attack and overlap. The reason I do this is because the 4-3-1-2 is obviously quite a narrow formation, so we need to add the extra width where possible. So by putting him on balanced attack and overlap, it means he's going to join the attack and he's going to add extra width with the overlapping runs to give us a narrow attack and a wide attack at the same time, which is super good, especially against those higher level opponents. For the right back, my more defensive fullback, I have stay back while attacking and overlap. We have him on stay back because we always want at least 3 defenders back, so we always at least have a 3 at the back, and we have him on overlap, so if I do want to trigger a run forward with him to, you know, go forward on the attack, he will make the overlapping runs to add the extra width. As for the centre backs and the goalkeeper, I leave them alone and I do not touch any of their instructions. But yeah guys, they're my custom tactics and the player instructions for the 4-3-1-2. If you guys have enjoyed or found this useful, I'd very much appreciate it if you could drop it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted. And with all that aside guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next upload. Peace out guys, catch you later.